Tonight's Huntingdon Little League All-Star Game is presented by Rick Singerman Reynolds, William Penn Highway, Huntingdon, and by the Ike Taylor Show, coming this fall to the airnetwork.net. Hey, the game is brought to you also by Sam's Garage in Huntingdon, Prayer Mountain Monuments, Stonetown Gallery, Cafe, and Wine Bar, Cloudminders in downtown Huntingdon, and the Huntingdon County Drop-In Center. And now, here with all the action of tonight's game are Jeff Speck and Hunter Weld on the airnetwork.net. Guys?
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And we are at the Huntingdon Little League field. And tonight we get out the big softballs. We're going to switch gears here, and the Air Network will have a place in broadcast history. This will be the first ever broadcast of a Little League softball game here in Huntingdon County. This year, Huntingdon entered the ranks of the softball, and we put 5 teams on the field here in Huntingdon, and also Mount Union, which only had 2 Little League teams. They've had the softball program going now for a few years at Mount Union. They only had two teams down there, so they also joined the ranks of the Huntingdon Little League for the regular season play, and had quite a turnout for this first season.
Yeah, we had 5 teams. We were looking to try and get started with like 3, maybe 4 teams, but when we had 5 teams, and then girls just kept coming out when the HCC folded up and had a nice competitive year.
That was one thing. The Huntingdon Community Center had run the age bracket here, and of course their league is going on right now with the older kids. But Huntingdon Little League offering the softball to 9 through 12-year-olds, and of course they all play in one division, unlike the baseball, which there's a 9-10 division and an 11-12 division. And quite frankly, Hunter, early on in the season, there were growing pains. Trouble to hit the strike zone, trouble to try and find out what the strike zone actually was. But if you watch the first or second game toward the end, the girls improved quite a lot. You wanted to see a vast improvement in a program. Why you got to see it from the start of the season to the end of the season, where games were kind of restricted. I think there was a 2-hour limit we had placed on the games early on, and some of the games didn't make it out of the second inning, or maybe just toward the third inning. But things got turned around, and games were going the distance and ending within 2 hours. So that's a mark that there was improvement and there was growth. And now we move into our first All-Star round, and we've went through the district, which Huntingdon was the only representative in our district. So this is a sectional game in districts 5, 7, and 11. Clearfield in the driver's seat at this point.
Yep, Clearfield won their first game against Huntingdon 11-4, and then the other night they beat New Bethlehem 15-5.
So here we are. We wind up with another one of these elimination games after tonight. Either Huntingdon or New Bethlehem, their experience in the Little League softball tournament comes to an end here tonight.
Yep. Huntingdon and New Bethlehem both faced a powerhouse with Clearfield, and looking to have a nice, good contest tonight.
All right, well, we'll see how that fares out. Let's get started here and get ready to go down over some lineups here for the visitors. I assume they are the visitors. New Bethlehem this evening should be up first, and here's Hunter Weld with their starting lineup.
Batting first for New Bethlehem, the shortstop, Savannah Boyer. Second, the first baseman, Elena Miller. Third, pitcher, Bry Rarick. Fourth, third baseman, Trista Bowser. Then the center fielder, Kaya Sage. Then Aaron Bailey playing second. Leanne Hetrick playing right. Zoe Troop playing left. And the Tia Hageder catching. The subs are Reagan Beamer, Brooke Snyder, and Rayleigh Bish.
No one can spell first names just in the traditional way anymore. There's all kinds of Y's, and extra letters in there. But so is they. And I thought, what? That girl's name's Kim. No, it turned out to be Kia. So if someone gets called Kim, why? That may just happen, but it's Kia Sage for New Bethlehem. New Bethlehem in their white jerseys, the sleeveless white tops, and Huntingdon in their blue uniforms with red and white trim. So the managers will be meeting out here, and they're getting some instruction on the ground rules and what takes place here at the Huntingdon Little League Field. And about the only thing that's different on this first year, it's not a traditional softball field that they're playing on here this season. Of course, there is the mound, but in Little League, it's not that big of a deal. Now the mound is the pitcher's rubber is actually in a little bit closer than what the Little League baseball is. It's on the same mound, and there's just that little hump, but it's not like you're looking at a major league or even a high school size of mound.
No, they're probably about, I'm going to guess, 3 feet up from where the boys pitch from.
Humps shouldn't make that much of an issue for the play. Like I say, this is a first year for Huntingdon Little League. Their 75th year of Little League baseball here in Huntingdon, and on the baseball side, it was the 50th anniversary of the 1966 state champion Huntingdon Little League baseball team, and it seemed like a perfect time to make this the first year for Huntingdon Little League softball. And this is going to be their first broadcast as we get ready for sectional tournament action. And in the sectionals, it's Clearfield, which is out in front right now, New Bethlehem, and Huntingdon, representing their 3 districts, Districts 5, 7, and 11. So we'll find out who moves on to get another meeting with Clearfield, which be a tall order, but it'd be an accomplishment, especially for Huntingdon being brand new to the sport.
Yep, Huntingdon at a little bit of disadvantage, not used to seeing the fast pitching that Clearfield was able to provide, but still able to get the bat on the ball. Hopefully tonight Huntingdon can get the bat on the ball a lot more and put up a lot more runs.
I heard from one of the fans who happened to watch the Clearfield Huntingdon game, and they said that pitcher was bringing it faster than he could ever throw a baseball. So that's got some speed on. That has shades of, I remember back in the 80s when Phillipsburg High School just had a myriad of pitchers who every time you'd go and watch them, I mean, they would just bring it. And I don't know how they judge these things, but was told that a couple of those girls at an equivalent level in baseball, they were pitching around 90 miles an hour at a softball with the softball level. And that's bringing it. And I don't know if this old boy would step in there and even want to face something like that.
No, these girls seeing a major league equivalent of a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Some minor league players can't even hit a major league. Well, can't hit a ball.
I know my hitting at those speeds are done. Maybe I could get a bunt down if the bat were about maybe 6 or 7 inches wide out on the end, but they don't make many of those anymore. I don't know if they ever did. Well, we're getting the introduction of the New Bethlehem squad here at this point, and they're all right. They've got the white tops, the gray pants, and the red knee socks, and they're probably cool there with those white tops and the sleeveless white tops. So that probably is a good thing on a day like today. And I was always one of those people that will pick the lighter shade of jerseys. But Huntington's got those dark navy blue shirts. And, well, as warm as it is this evening, it probably isn't going to matter what you're wearing. And another thing that you look at now, New Bethlehem, and you see it must be a preference of the teams. New Bethlehem players have no hats, no visors or anything on. Huntingdon comes out with a navy blue hat with the red bill and the white lettering of the H on the front. So there's another change in softball. And baseball, everyone has a cap. In softball, it's kind of the preference. Yep.
If it's a sunny day, I think Huntingdon might have the advantage.
Well, and always, and even Steve Austin can vouch if you're overplaying first base at the Huntingdon Little League field at this time of night, why you got sun in your eyes. Any way you deal with every ball that's coming to you, be it from second, short, or third, you're looking into the sun as it lays in the sky above the waterworks plant. So first baseman always has that sun to deal with here in an afternoon game.
That's right.
Yep.
That's why first base. Coach, I'll stick at second. Really need someone to play there. Well, you really need to pick someone else.
Put on some shades, then, man.
Yeah. Those trees. The trees have never grown up tall enough, and there's no trees out there in the left field area, so no shade was ever provided. Right now, we're going to. We've had the player introductions for both squads, and now we're going to have the national anthem. It worked earlier. We should have just played it then. It was 20 after 5, but...
Yeah. It happens. It's the softball, yeah.
Sectionals.
Whammy.
Okay, so due to technical difficulties and Hunter's not willing to sing the national anthem,
shucks.
We are going to just do the Little League pledge here for the girls, and New Bethlehem will be will be in the first base dugout, and Huntingdon will be in the third base dugout. And we were just about ready. And down there in the light blue PIAA jerseys, we've got the Shope brothers, Nick and Nate Shope, products of the Huntingdon Area High School, and both pretty decent baseball players in their days. And some of the younger guys who are in the Huntingdon chapter here do a fine job, and they are in lots of sports: baseball, softball. I think they both do wrestling also. I don't know if they have any other tests that they took, but. Where it looks like we're going to have Nate Shope behind the plate, and his brother Nick will be patrolling the bases. Good choice. Take the bases. Don't be working behind that plate on a hot night.
Yep, all that extra padding might give you a heat stroke.
Well, we'll see. There's a little breeze here. The flag out in center field seems to be blowing from left field to right field, and it's like a pretty nice breeze. And we've got a nice breeze. I've got a broken down old fan sitting behind us, so we've got the wind at our backs, brother. We're ready to sail.
Yep, nice and cool up here with the fan. We don't have to be out in the environment.
We'll take it. One of the benefits. So as we get ready to start things off for Huntingdon, out on the mound will be Maddie Burke. He will be the starting pitcher for Huntingdon. And we're waiting for the catcher, Paige Wilson, to make her appearance. Must still be getting suited up in the catcher's gear. And over there on the on-deck circle for New Bethlehem, who will be up first for them?
Savannah Boyer.
All right, Savannah Boyer will be stepping in, number 6 for New Bethlehem. I have to get used to saying that, New Bethlehem. Well, I don't think I've ever been involved in anything with any sports broadcast or anything involving New Bethlehem, so we are ready to get rolling. Once again, the manager for Huntingdon, Sean Simpson. He's assisted by Jim Berkey and Travis Krotzer. And those guys stepping in and had a good crew of people to work with this year in this first year of Huntingdon Little League Softball. And let's see if I can correct me here if I get off base. Our 5 teams would have been the Bandits, Charge, Pride, Racers, and Rebellion. I think I nailed it. And I know the one Mount Union team was Tornadoes, and I'm drawing a blank on the other.
The Wildcats.
Wildcats. There we go. Tornadoes and Wildcats joined us from the Mount Union League here in Huntingdon this season. So we are ready to get underway, and it's like the batter. She is ready to rip into it. Boyer and Wilson makes her throw down to second base, and the warm-ups are done. The introductions are done, and Hunter, we're ready for Little League Softball.
Yep, I'm making history.
There we go. Huntingdon and New Bethlehem. Huntingdon on the field first to play defense as the home team here this evening. And Boyer steps into the batter's box, and we'll just wait for Mr. Shope to get the face mask on, and he's ready to go, checks everything out, gives the go signal, and here's the first pitch. And that'll be one stops, bounces out in front of home plate. 1-0 the count to Boyer. Once again, Maddie Berkey on the mound for Huntingdon. Paige Wilson at second base around the horn. Cam Mortar playing third. June Simpson down at second base. Third baseman Maddie Lemin. And Ashley Beck is at shortstop. And Boyer pops one up, and the shortstop, Beck, comes in and makes the play behind the pitcher's mound. So one down here in the top of the first inning.
Yep, nice pitch. Good to get the first out.
And Elena Miller now stepping in for New Bethlehem. She's up far up front in the batter's box. And the pitch, that will be up high for a ball 1. New Bethlehem freshmen, they were kind of kind of good sized girls looked up and down the line when they were out being introduced.
Yep. That's one thing they have on Huntingdon, quite a size advantage.
Miller puts a ground ball down to the third baseman, Maddie Lemin. She fields it, gets the throw over to first. Cam Mortar had the ball in her glove. It was kind of in a long stretch down toward second base, was just unable to hold on. So that'll put Miller down at first base. And now we have Bryn Rurik up for New Bethlehem. These girls like to get up real far in the batter's box. They are out front of the plate. And her first pitch to her, she's going to drive one past the left fielder, who Savannah Reed is in pursuit. The ball ends up out at the fence. Ball comes in, and that'll score Miller for the first run here this evening. So we've got a RBI for Bryn Rurik as she put a nice ball in the air.
Yep, with Huntington playing in, she put a nice swing on it and crushed it.
That's not going to move the Huntington outfield back. I mean, they are really short, getting some instructions now. They're moving the right fielder back a little bit, but Huntington playing way short, and up front now is this is Bowser, who's up for New Bethlehem, the third. Trista Bowser, the third baseman. So New Bethlehem with one run in and a runner out at third base on the big hit here in the top of the first inning. That pitch was up high, but Bowser makes the swing, and that'll be that's a swing and a miss. 1-1 the count now. As Maddie Berkey winds and delivers a swing and a miss. Strike two on Bowser. One out here in the top of the first inning with Huntingdon on the field. New Bethlehem out there batting first this evening, leading things off. That ball will bounce in front of the plate, so that'll make the count 2-2 is the count with one out. New Bethlehem out on the runner out on third base. Now I think we've got the scoreboard issue. Hunter was called into service there to try to get the scoreboard fixed. Bowser, she slams one way over the shortstop's head and the center field. Jaden White comes over and cleans that one up, but that'll be the second run. So Bowser gets an RBI single out to left center field, and now New Bethlehem with one out has a runner on first and a 2-0 lead. Up now for New Bethlehem.
Kai Sage.
Okay, Kai Sage is up, and she makes a swing and a miss, and Bowser will easily make it down to second base on the steal. No play or throw from Wilson on that one. She was having trouble getting the ball out of the glove and picked up, but start off here with one strike. Umpire holding up play here at the moment. Okay, gives a signal to proceed. That one will be a ball high, 1 ball and 1 strike on Sage. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with a 2-0 New Bethlehem lead as we get underway in this sectional elimination game between Huntingdon and New Bethlehem. And Sage will swing and miss. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Maddie Berkey being pretty consistent with her pitches here this evening, getting balls in for strikes. And fortunately, a couple of places there where New Bethlehem was able to swing and put some damage and do some damage on the board, but Sage will swing and miss for a strike 3. So now 2 outs here in the top of the first inning, and coming up for New Bethlehem now,
Aaron Bailey.
Bailey, the second baseman for New Bethlehem. And except for the leadoff batter, who was kind of back in a normal position in the batter's box, Bailey is another one. She's got that front foot just up there. She's up maybe about 6 inches away from the front of the batter's box. So they are out front, and she takes a called strike 2, 0-2 the count on Bailey here. So right now, Maddie Berkey hitting the spot and throwing strikes, and Bailey will get a piece of that one and foul it back to the backstop. 0-2 remains the count with 2 outs. New Bethlehem with a runner down on second base as we are just underway here at the Huntingdon Little League field. And yeah, it looks a little different tonight. It's Huntingdon Little League Softball. 0-2, and here comes the pitch. That one is inside, and Paige Wilson unable to hold on to that one, and the runner makes it down to third base. So now another runner down to third here for New Bethlehem. See if Bailey can do anything with that and get a third run across here. Here's the pitch. That one's going to bounce in front of home plate. Gets away from Wilson, but Berkey comes in, covers the plate. The runner decides to stay put right out there at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the first inning. And here comes the pitch. And Bailey will foul one down to third base line, and the New Bethlehem coach scoops it up barehanded. Always impressive.
Yep. Nice.
It wasn't hit hard.
No.
I think I may have been able to make an attempt at it anyhow with my reflexes. Here comes the pitch. That one's going to be up high. Now full count. Berkey has worked it up to 3-2 here on Bailey, the batter for New Bethlehem. Berkey winds. And the pitch is up high, so that'll put runners on the corners here for New Bethlehem. Bailey not going to stop at first base. Now Berkey has her back to home plate, not paying attention. The ball comes in. And she was looking down, watching the runner go to second base. Bowser came in and got the steal at home as the runner who just had the walk. She never stopped at first base and kept going and drew the attention of the pitcher. And well, that's the way it goes, and had your back turned to the runner at third base and an easy scoot into the plate.
Yep, nice heads-up play to take off to second and distract the pitcher.
And that's now, and right now Berkey's showing a little bit of frustration out on the mound, but hey, gotta let that one go. That one's over and done with. You ain't getting it back, and just get yourself settled in and get back to work here. Next batter up here for New Bethlehem is Hetrick, and on the first pitch to her, she line drives one out to the first baseman, and Cam Mortar has no problem, sticks the glove up and hauls it in pretty routine-like. And so at the end of the first half inning of play, it's New Bethlehem 3 and Huntingdon 0. And we'll be back on the airnetwork.net.
Jeff Speck and Hunter Weld tonight live from the Huntingdon Little League Field. It is softball action. More details and more game coming up. This game, by the way, brought to you by Sam's Garage at 214 Washington Street, Huntingdon. They've been owned and operated for 37 years, recently purchased by Todd Wilson back in 2014. Stop by Sam's Garage for state inspections, major and minor vehicle repairs, and all brands of tires and accessories. Sam's Garage open Monday to Friday from 9 to 5 with appointments on Saturdays and Sundays. Call Sam's Garage at 643-0616. Also brought to you by Rick Singleton Rentals at William Penn Highway, renting equipment for all your construction needs. From bulldozers, JLG lifts, to excavators and more. By the way, Rick also has some gas for the propane tank. Rick Singleton Rentals, heavy equipment for your next project. Call them at 643-3993 for rates and details. By the way, you can find Rick Singleton Rentals on Facebook. Now back to the action. Here's Hunter Weld along with Jeff Speck live from downtown Huntingdon, guys.
We're back, and the total for the top of the first inning for New Bethlehem was 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. The score after the a half inning of play, 3-0 New Bethlehem.
So Huntingdon, they need to get to work here with the bats right off the bat, so to speak, as they get ready to step up to the plate for the first time. And who do we have leading off the first few positions here for Huntingdon?
Maddie Berkey, June Simpson, and Cam Mortar.
All right, so see what the Huntingdon ladies can do here as they get their first at bat. And we've got the manager Sean Simpson down coaching third base, and making his way out to first base, Coach Jim Berkey. We out there handling nose duties for the Huntingdon squad here this evening. And Huntingdon starts off here with a left-hander, Berkey. She steps into the batter's box, and we are underway. Makes a swing and a miss here on the first pitch. And out there working on the mound for New Bethlehem is Bryn Rurick, is the pitcher. Good-sized girl, and boy, she has that move, and Berkey will slap one down to the third baseman, who scoops it up. Trista Bowser on to Elena Miller for the putout. So 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning as Berkey puts it in play down to third base. But nice, quick, clean play. 1 down here And one thing you don't see us mentioning tonight, or hear us mentioning tonight, I should say, are the pitch counts, which we pay so much attention to in baseball. Doesn't come into play here.
No, in softball, Little League Softball, there's no pitch count.
All right, stepping in for Huntingdon now is Simpson, and she is right-handed batter, swing and a miss on the first pitch from Rurick. Girl has a nice quick move and a nice quick release, and boy, good wind out there on the mound.
Yep, a lot different from what Huntingdon is used to seeing.
Yeah, and that's, once again, those are the growing pains as you get into this more competitive style of softball. So, if nothing else, Huntingdon is getting the experience this year of seeing what else is out there and where the level of play needs to proceed. But had an excellent opening year here for Huntingdon softball. But now moving into these, you can tell some of these teams just have the experience and have been at it for a while. And Huntingdon will be catching up over the years, I'm sure.
Yep, Huntingdon being our first year, we need to try and move on from this and get better.
And the count now is on Simpson is 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's 1 out as we play softball here in the bottom of the first inning. And here comes the payoff pitch. Wind in the delivery. Simpson will put a nice one, goes out left the field, but it's unfortunately foul. So Simpson will come back in here and have another shot at it. See what she can do. She nestles in there where I'd call like a traditional stance in the batter's box. That front foot up about the bottom, the back corner of the plate before it makes its diamond. So Simpson draws the walk. So Huntingdon in business. We've got a runner out on first base, and coming up to bat now for the Huntingdon squad,
Cam Mortar.
Okay, Cam Mortar, who had that line drive out to her to end the inning in the top of the first. The first baseman steps in, and she's ready. Bring it on. She tells the umpire, let's get it going. And that ball is going to be inside. 1 ball, no strikes with Simpson, the runner out on first base for Huntingdon. June Simpson, the second baseman. Right now out on first, drew a walk. Mortar takes a called strike, 1-1 the count. As you're wondering what's going on here at the Huntingdon Little League field this evening, it is Huntingdon and New Bethlehem girls softball sectional tournament action, and Mortar swing and a miss, and Simpson was off first base, gets back into the base, and the throw down from the catcher gets away from the first baseman, Elena Miller, and Simpson makes her way down to second base. So now a runner in scoring position here. See if Huntingdon can take advantage and get one back here in the bottom of the first inning. At bat is Cam Mortar for Huntingdon. The wind and the pitch. And she will swing it 1 down low, and Hagerter, the catcher, is able to hang on to that one and records the second out of the inning here against Huntingdon. New Bethlehem out on the field, and a lot of their players up to wear the protective mask. The pitcher has the mask on, second baseman, and the third baseman. I guess we still call them basemen. Well, that's what it's going to be. That's what I'm used to. I guess we wouldn't call it base girls, so they're base men. I'm going to get myself in trouble. I just better shut up and call the game on her. I can't do that, huh? Here's the line, and gets a call to strike. 0-2 now the count. So we've got a runner out on second base. Be nice to get one back here and see what we can see if we can catch up on this one. That one's going to be high and outside as the Huntingdon catcher, Paige Wilson, is in the batter's box for Huntingdon at the moment. Count 1-2 with 2 outs, and here's the pitch. That'll be a called third strike, and that'll retire the side for Huntingdon. So they leave 1 runner on, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 person left on base, and that's the end of the first inning. It's New Bethlehem 3, Huntingdon 0 on the airnetwork.net.
Get a chance, get down to the Huntingdon Little League field and see history in the making tonight with Jeff Speck and Hunter Weld. Join Ike Taylor, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, for the Ike Taylor Show. It's happening this fall on the airnetwork.net. Ike Taylor, Johnny Harris, and NFL insiders bring you insight to players, games, and information regarding the Steelers in the NFL. It happens every Wednesday night beginning in September. Get the whole story live here on the airnetwork.net as we debut the Ike Taylor Show coming this fall. The game is also brought to you by Prayer Mountain Monuments on 4th Street, Huntingdon, specializing in laser etching of memorial headstones. Our pre-planning consultations are free of charge, and you can select from a variety of monument styles. Prayer Mountain Monuments open Monday to Thursdays from 9 to 4, Fridays from 9 to 3, evenings and weekends by appointment. By the way, call Prayer Mountain Monuments at 669-1316 for more information on a lasting memorial. It's Huntingdon Little League Softball tonight. The ladies are at it, 11 to 12-year-old, and taking on New Bethlehem. Jeff Speck and Hunter Weld with all the action, guys.
All right, thank you, and we'll switch gears and looking forward to go watching some Teener League All-Star action. That'll be firing up here real soon, getting underway with that, and go see what the local Teener League squads have with the, I guess they're still the 13-year-olds and the 14, 15-year-olds. And I can't keep track of all the divisions anymore. And even 14 and 15-year-olds, you got some 16-year-olds in there. So I guess I need to get to the times in that. But, you know, I'm a creature of habit, and that's just what it'll be.
Yep. Up first for New Bethlehem, Zoe Troop.
Okay, Zoe Troop, the left fielder, and she swings and misses on the first pitch to her, which is delivered from Maddie Berkey, who's working the mound for Huntingdon. Got out of that first inning, had 3 runs scored against Huntingdon in the top of the first. Troop swinging a miss for an 0-2 count now as we get underway in the top of the second inning. The leadoff batter up for New Bethlehem. Boy, our right fielder, I'll tell you, she can't be 10, 12 feet out of the dirt in the infield.
No, she's playing really shallow compared to the other two. I
don't know. I'm one of those people. It's easier to come in than to go back, but we'll trust it. Oh, no. The third base coach can't handle that one. Slap down the third base side and gets through his hands. He had the hands out, just couldn't haul it in, so it makes it up to the fence off of left field. 1-2 strikes is the count against Troop as she bats here, the leadoff batter in the top of the second inning for New Bethlehem. And Berkey winds and the pitch. Troop will put it down to third base. The third baseman can't get a handle on it. Lemin gets out to left field, and Troop is going to find herself just into second base. The throw comes in, but unable to record the out as Simpson tried to apply the tag, but Troop gets in there standing up by maybe a step. So New Bethlehem with a runner out on second base, no outs in the top of the second inning. Stepping in now, I believe, is the catcher.
Yeah, Tiga Hedger.
Okay, Hedger is the batter. She shows a bunt, but pulls back and ball bounces out in front of home plate. So 1-0 the count with a runner in scoring position for New Bethlehem. Hedger turns around again, throws down a bunt, just beautiful, right in front of home plate, and now things are falling apart as both the third baseman, the pitcher, the catcher, and the first baseman all converged on the bunt, and Wilson picks up the ball and goes to throw to first base, but the first baseman is in the grass trying to field the bunt, and then there was no one covering second base, so Hedger on the bunt gets out to second base, and the runner scores, and now New Bethlehem with a 4-0 lead as we're back to the top of the lineup, I believe, here for New Bethlehem, and that is Boyer stepping in, batting now, 1 ball, no strikes. So just little miscommunications on what the assignments were on that bunt. Everyone's converging, and no one's staying home, and no one's covering first base.
Yep. First baseman was under the impression that she was the charge on the bunt, and the second baseman never went over to cover the bag.
So there's one of those learning points, but it ends up costing a run as the runner was able to score on the play, and the batter gets down to second base, and Boyer will foul that one back into the screen and the backstop. 3-1 now the count. Maddie Berkey pitching for Huntingdon. We're in the top of the second inning. New Bethlehem putting one on the scoreboard here in the top of the second inning. No outs, 3 balls, 1 strike is the count. Boyer, the batter, the original leadoff batter here in the game. Here's Berkey's pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. It brings it up. She gets it in a hurry. Oh, just couldn't get it in time. The runner was off of second base, headed toward third, but was able to get back in safe and beats the throw into second. So one out there on the fly ball to center field, and Jaden White calls that one in and just about gets it back into June Simpson, the second baseman, at the bag, but ball's a little bit high. I think maybe if she didn't have to jump for that, she may have had that force out on the runner coming back into second base. But New Bethlehem still in business with a runner out there at second who was able to get back in. Yep, and who's up now? I think this is Miller for New Bethlehem.
Yeah, Elena Miller.
Elena Miller, the first baseman for New Bethlehem. Berkey winds, and Miller had shown bunt, but pulls back, and the ball once again bounces there in front of the plate. So maybe that's something that's throwing Berkey off, and she looks in there and sees that bunt. Why, maybe she's thinking more about fielding than finishing that pitch, because that's happened a couple of times now where she puts one in the dirt in front of home plate. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out, showing bunt again. Miller third baseman comes in, and shortstop was moving over towards second, and no one to cover third, so the runner advances over to third unchallenged. 3 balls, no strikes, with a runner in scoring position on third base here for New Bethlehem. Miller looks down, gets the signal from the third base coach, settles in here, see if she shows bunt again. She's done that on every pitch, but no need to. She draws the walk. Now, what are we doing? Huntingdon throws the ball down to first base on the fourth ball, and probably not good. And actually, the first baseman Cam Mortar's able to haul that in, but with a runner out on third base, that's a kind of a scary proposition.
Yep. I think the catcher was just thinking about what the runner did last time. There was first and third. The girl went straight.
Okay, and now the runner Miller goes down to second, and she draws the throw down for from Wilson, and the runner easily scores from third base. So now 5-0 the score. 1 ball, no strikes, with Rierick in batting for New Bethlehem at this point. Runner now down on second base. And here's the pitch from Berkey. And Rierick is going to smash one way over the head of the left fielder, who once again, playing in, had to backtrack, and that's going to easily score the runner from second as Miller touches home plate, and Rierick finds herself out with a stand-up double out at second base. Score now 6-0. New Bethlehem in command here in the top of the second inning. Huntingdon with 1 out, and Trista Bowser now stepping in for Huntingdon for New Bethlehem. Huntingdon just needs to just pull things together here defensively and have your thoughts of what's going on. There's a pass ball, gets past Wilson, and Rierick is able to advance over to third base, so right back in business again.
Yep, inexperience is kind of plaguing Huntingdon, not knowing what to do in certain situations.
And let's face it, this is a different level. There's a little slap back to the pitcher, and she is going to run the runner back to third base, but so now you have a runner on first, a runner on third, just a little slap shot back to the pitcher, and instead of going for the out, she decided to take that runner back to third base. So 1 out here in the top at the second inning. New Bethlehem at bat, and up now for New Bethlehem,
Kay Sage.
Kaya Sage, and she's going to put one out once again. The right fielder is very, very shallow. And, as we used to say, that's burnt toast, as she's going to come the whole way around and inside the park home run on a fly ball that was way over the right fielder's head. And instead of being back in a regular position, and she comes right back up to where she was at before, now getting instructions to move back. And, that one was a costly blow there. And now the right fielder, Jada Grissiner, gave the instructions, move out. And there's going to be a ball that's in the air, falls in front of Lemin, the third baseman, and New Bethlehem right back in business with a runner down on first base. Aaron Bailey was the batter there who gets the infield single, and that'll bring up now for New Bethlehem
Leanne Hetrick.
Okay, Hetrick stepping into bat here, and New Bethlehem just having fun at bat here at the moment, up 9-0 in the top of the second inning. Hetrick shows a bunt, lays down a beauty. Wilson fields it. Throw out to first is just a little bit too long for the first baseman, Cam Mortar, to haul in. She was stretched out, so we don't get the out at first, and the runner advances down to third. So runners on the corner again here for New Bethlehem, and this will bring Troop up, I believe, for New Bethlehem.
Yeah, Zoe Troop.
Zoe Troop, the batter, and she is the left fielder for New Bethlehem. Cam Mortar tying her shoe up there. A little halt in the action as we get ready for that. And the home plate umpire, Nate Shope, gets resuited up, and here we go. Here's the line from Berkey, and the pitch is going to be inside off the tip of the glove of Wilson, goes back to the backstop, and that'll bring Bailey in from third base and advance the runner down to second base. So a 10-0 lead now here for New Bethlehem. I guess you'd just say things have kind of fallen apart on Huntingdon here in the top of the second.
Yep, costly errors, girls not playing where they should be playing. Just a lot of miscues.
And there's another one, Wilson unable to haul the ball in there on the pitch, and so that advances the runner now over to third base. 2 balls, no strikes to count with 1 out. Troop in the batter's box here for New Bethlehem. Maddie Berkey working the mound for Huntingdon. She winds and delivers and throws a called strike against Troop. 2-1 now the count. Huntingdon just needs some outs here now. The runner over at third really doesn't come into play. You don't want to be worried about her scoring. You've got enough work to do with the bats right now. You need an out if Troop puts something in play. She does put something in play. A line drive out to the shortstop and over to third base, and there you get the double play. So Ashley Beck able to handle the line drive. She throws the ball over to Maddie Lemin and gets the runner, who was about halfway home, and the out couldn't get back to third base. So just that quickly, that was kind of tailor-made. That's exactly what Huntingdon needed to get out of that mess. But boy, some damage has been done here in the top of the second. After 1.5 innings of play, it's New Bethlehem 10, Huntingdon nothing on the airnetwork.net.
Great experience for the Huntingdon girls. Best of luck. The game is brought to you by Cloudminders in downtown Huntingdon at 519 Washington Street, your celebration station for all your party needs. From balloons, party gear, and so much more, Cloudminders makes your party planning much easier. So stop by Cloudminders 10 to 6 Monday to Friday and 9 to 5 on Saturdays. Call Cloudminders at 643-5121 and check them out on Facebook. Also brought to you by Stonetown Gallery, Cafe, and Wine Bar, the place for all-day breakfast and a fabulous lunch. Artistic atmosphere in downtown Huntingdon at 511 Washington Street, where you can also enjoy dinner and music Friday nights on the patio and courtyard. Stop in at our wine bar hosted by Happy Valley Winery and Vineyards. Stonetown Gallery, Cafe, and Wine Bar. Open Tuesday through Sunday, closed Mondays, and you can like them on Facebook. That is Stonetown Gallery, Cafe, and Wine Bar. Now back to all the action tonight with Hunter Weld and Jeff Speck live at Huntingdon Little League Softball, guys.
We're back, and the top of the second totals for New Bethlehem, 7 runs. 6 hits, 1 error, and none left. The score after 1.5, New Bethlehem 10, Huntingdon 0.
Well, you got a lot of work to do now if you're Huntingdon, and see what they can do here as we get ready to go to bat in the bottom half of the second inning. And who's going to lead things off here for Huntingdon?
Ashley Beck.
Ashley Beck, so she is the 5th batter in the lineup, whereas New Bethlehem working through the lineup a second time around here already. And Huntingdon needs some base runners and need to get something going. This is one of those ones you're not going to eat the elephant in one bite, but you got to chip away a little bit. 10-0 lead for New Bethlehem, and Miss Beck steps in and she takes the first pitch, a swing and a miss. 7-1 the count. Well, don't start us out with an out on the scoreboard already. It's rough enough, guys. That one will be out side and high, so 1-1 the count. Here comes the pitch, and Beck swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes as we are underway here in the bottom of the second inning. as Bryn Rurik doing a fine job out on the mound, and here comes the wind, and that one's going to be up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Beck, the batter for Huntingdon, that leading off here in the top of the bottom of the second inning, and that one she has to duck and get out of the way of that one. So full count now as Rurik runs it full, 3-2 the count on the first batter here for Huntingdon in the bottom of the second inning. Huntingdon down 10-0 against New Bethlehem in this elimination game. Beck puts a one out to the third baseman, and she fields it. Bowser is able to field it and throws it over to first, but there was a low throw, and the first baseman was unable to haul it in. Elena Miller for New Bethlehem, and we end up with a leadoff runner out on first. So some good news to start the inning anyhow.
Yep, Huntingdon dug themselves a hole, and now they got to fight out.
Okay, and it's going to be Maddie Lemin's job, the third baseman for Huntingdon, to see what she can do to advance Beck, who's out on first base. First pitch to Lemin. She puts a grounder back to the pitcher, and Rurik is able to field that and throws it over to Miller to throw Lemin out as she's going to first, but that'll move Beck down to second base, so advances the runner. One out with a runner on second base for Huntingdon. Up now for Huntingdon,
Savannah Reed.
All right, Savannah Reed, a right-handed batter, steps in here for the local squad. She swings at one that's a little high, and that's a 0-1 count now against Reed. Savannah Reed, the left fielder for Huntingdon. Comes the wind and swings way late on that one. The ball was in the catcher's glove, and she cut loose with a swing. 0-2 now the count. One out, one runner on down at second for Huntingdon, looking to try to do something to get back in this ball game, but Reed is going to look at a called third strike, 2 outs. Coming up now for Huntingdon,
Jada Grissinger.
Jada Grissinger will step in here. That is the right fielder, Jada Grissinger. Another right-handed batter in the Huntingdon lineup, and Rurik winds and delivers. We'll get a called strike on the first pitch to Grissinger. Here we have Beck is down on second base, the runner for Huntingdon. Huntingdon looking for their first run of the evening. Grissinger swinging a miss, 0-2 now the count. Rurik wasting no time. She gets that ball, steps right back on the mound, and here comes the pitch. That'll be just a little bit high, 1-2 the count, 2 outs as Huntingdon bats in the bottom of the second inning, and a big hole, 10-0 is the score right now. New Bethlehem with the lead. The pitch to Grissinger, a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll take Huntingdon back to the field as we've completed 2 at the Huntingdon Little League field. It's New Bethlehem 10, Huntingdon 0 on the airnetwork.net.
And as Jeff alluded to, coming up in the next couple of weeks, we have a Huntingdon Teenerlet games for you, the 13 and 14-year-olds and the 15 and 16-year-olds. Then we head to camp for the Steelers, and Ike Taylor will be doing a live show. And don't forget Huntingdon sports all season long. That's football, basketball, boys and girls wrestling. In addition to baseball and softball, it's going to be a sweet year. Looking forward to it. This game brought to you by Sam's Garage at 214 Washington Street, with where it's owned and operated for 37 years, purchased by Todd Wilson back in 2014. So you get the excellent service that you always got. Stop by Sam's Garage for state inspections, major or minor vehicle repairs, and all brands of tires and accessories. That's Sam's Garage, open Monday to Friday from 9 to 5, with appointments on Saturdays and Sundays. Call Sam's Garage at 643-0616 for great service. Also brought to you by Rick Singleton Rentals at William Penn Highway, renting equipment for all your construction needs, from bulldozers, JLG lifts, to excavators, and more. Rick Singleton Rentals, heavy equipment for your next project? We'll give them a call at 643-3993 for rates and details, and check out Rick Singleton Rentals on Facebook. And you know, he has a nifty race car too, Jeff, that I heard about. So I'm going to be checking him out with an interview very shortly. That guy's kind of busy all the time.
Yeah, he's into something, and I know he loves that. He loves that racing business,
Yeah.
And I don't know that. I hope he's got a little raised. I've stuck my nose into some of those racing cars. I can't imagine he'd have a lot of headroom as tall as he is once he gets in the cockpit.
He's a big guy. He's probably stuffed in there, man.
maybe they peel it back and then weld it back in place once he gets in and gets seated. Well,
Like-
talking about getting welded in place, I don't know what happened out there. We were warming up, and it looks as though the first baseman, Cam Mortar, there was something happened out there, and the first base coach for New Bethlehem was over paying attention to her. I don't know if she maybe rolled her ankle or twisted or something off the bag, but I don't know what happened. Kind of looking at her now, she's getting a couple extra tosses to see if she's going to be able to go. She looks to be stepping kind of gingerly on her. Looks like her left foot as she has the ankle up off the ground a little bit, and now just trying to see if she's going to be able to step in here and get the job done. And Sean Simpson was out taking a little look there at her and making sure she's going to be able to go. But she's definitely favoring that. I guess it's the right foot that she's favoring there at the moment, huh?
Yeah, I haven't seen her yet. Oh, there she goes. She just planted both feet and looks like she's fine and ready to go.
We'll play through it, as they say. So we're getting ready to go here in the top of the third inning, and New Bethlehem right now in this elimination game, definitely in the driver's seat right now, 10-0. Huntingdon not able to really get anything going or sustain anything when they're at bat, and having a few troubles out on the field, just getting the ball in the right place. So we are underway and ready to go here with. Looks like this must be one of the subs. Beamer, it looks like, is up here for. Okay, Gretchen Beamer, I think they said, is the right fielder who's now entering the game, getting her at bat in the top of the third inning, and she fouls one down the third base side over toward the Huntingdon dugout. 0-2 the count on her. So you still got to get the subs in for their action too.
Yep. They took 12, so it's mandatory for every girl to get at least one at bat and play 2 innings in the field.
Okay, so Beamer's getting her chance here at bat right now to lead off the top of the third inning for New Bethlehem, which leads this game 10-0. She gets settled in and gives the umpire a little halt to the action until she gets settled in. Don't have to worry much about that pitch. That one bounced out about 2 feet in front of home plate. So now the count 2-2 on Beamer. Leadoff batter for New Bethlehem up here. She will swing and miss. Wilson is unable to hold on to it, makes the throw down to first base, and Mortar gets the throw from the catcher. But now here's going to be the determination. Mortar had moved over to there's a 2 base out there at first base, and I'm not sure. Maybe the umpires haven't had a lot of these situations, but the first baseman was actually over on the out of play portion of the bag, the orange part of the bag, where she made the out, and it is indeed called an out, but they were just making sure on that call before it had gone any further. Now stepping in for New Bethlehem,
Savannah Boyer.
Boyer stepping up for her. She's the original leadoff batter, and so she's in for her third at bat here this evening. As Berkey winds for Huntingdon the pitch, and that's going to be a ball 2 against Boyer. 2-0 the count, 1 out. As we play in the top of the third inning, an elimination game in Little League Baseball. It's a sectional tournament play, which has District 5, District 7, and District 11 up for grabs. And one of those districts are getting knocked out here tonight and will earn the right to advance to go play Clearfield one more time. And I don't know, for what I'm hearing from Clearfield, didn't see them in person. That might be more of a curse than it is a blessing, but a win's a win at this point.
Yep. From what I've heard, Clearfield's a powerhouse.
And Boyer puts a bunt down, but it rolls foul down the third baseline. 3-1 the count on her with 1 out. As Maddie Berkey winds, and a little pop-up out to the shortstop, and Ashley Beck gets under that, makes it look kind of routine. So 2 outs. So Huntingdon off to a good start. Knock on wood, don't want to curse things. 2 down with no runners on. So Huntingdon doing the job here in the top of the third inning defensively. And stepping in now,
Elena Miller.
Elena Miller, the first baseman for New Bethlehem, steps into the batter's box. And I call it a toe tapper. She's got the front foot. She is up on her tippy toes with that lead foot in the batter's box. Yeah, that heel is nowhere near touching down. Going to be another fly ball. And the shortstop and the third baseman were converging at the same time. Lemin kind of steps in front of Beck and is unable to haul that ball in. And she'll that'll make that'll give the runner an E5 on that one. And so now New Bethlehem with a runner down at first. And Bryn Rurik is up to bat here for, that's what Rurik is?
Rurik is 2 for 2 with a triple and a double.
Well, you know what? She just pounds another one out above the shortstop. It's going to go out to the fence out of left center field, and that should easily score. That's going to score the runner from first, and Rurik is going to have her second triple of the evening on that one. That was a well-hit ball, a line drive, which died out in the outfield, but continued its pursuit and rolled out to the fence. Easily scores another run, and 2 triples on the night. That's a pretty good evening.
Yep, she's been pounding the ball.
And up now is Bowser. She's going to put that one right between the shortstop and the third baseman. And Savannah Reed hauls that in out in left field, gets the ball into second base. So another run across here for New Bethlehem and a runner out on first base. So maybe I didn't knock on the wood hard enough. It was 2 outs with no runners on, and all of a sudden 2 more runs on the board for New Bethlehem. 12-0 the score. New Bethlehem leads Huntingdon here in the top of the third inning. Maddie Berkey winds and delivers, and that'll be a called strike again. Looks like the batter now is that Snyder?
Snyder.
Brooke Snyder, a new entry into the ball game here for New Bethlehem. 0-1 the count with 2 outs. Huntingdon just looking for this third out here, and so they can get back in and try another at bat. And Lemon is able to redeem herself. A fly ball out to her. She puts the glove up, hauls it in, keeps it in the glove, and that'll be the third out recorded against New Bethlehem here in the top of the third inning. 2 more runs across the plate, though. We now find ourselves after 2.5 innings of play. It's New Bethlehem 12 and Huntingdon 0 coming to bat in the bottom of the third inning. We're on the airnetwork.net.
And by the way, following this game tonight at 10 o'clock, you can listen to it again for the kids who, of course, are playing now. And we'll have it on our front page tomorrow morning and then forevermore. That's right. They'll be able to go in and listen all winter long under podcast on the Air Network. This game is brought to you by Prayer Mountain Monuments on 4th Street, Huntingdon, specializing in laser etching of memorial headstones. Their pre-planning consultations are free of charge, and you can select from a variety of monument styles. Prayer Mountain Monuments open Monday to Thursdays 9 to 4, Fridays from 9 to 3, evenings and weekends by appointment. Call Dave McKinney and Prayer Mountain Monuments at 669-1316 for more information on a lasting memorial. By the way, the game is also brought to you by Cloudminders downtown Huntingdon at 519 Washington Street, your celebration station for all your party needs. From balloons, party gear, and so much more, Cloudminders makes your party planning much easier. Stop by Cloudminders 10 to 6 Monday to Friday and 9 to 5 Saturdays. Call Carol and Cloudminders at 643-5121 and look for them on Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook, even Jeff Speck's on there. And also, Honey 103.5, you guys are giving away a pool here, I hear. Man, I could use that pool right now.
2 weeks from tomorrow, someone's going to be getting set to jump in a brand new pool. That's a sweet deal anyway you cut it.
It is a honey of a deal.
Okay, well let's get some totals there from the top of the second inning. Here's Hunter, and he'll also tell us about a pitching change here for New Bethlehem.
The inning showed 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. At the end of 2.5, score is New Bethlehem 12, Huntingdon 0. Elena Miller is now moving from first base to pitcher.
Okay, so Elena Miller, and boy, she's got quite the move out there too. If her warm-up tosses are any indication, looks like she can bring a little heat herself, and she wastes no time, boy. And she kicks that one leg out there, and she really pushes off the rubber. She's whenever she's done, she's probably a good 3-4 feet in off the rubber as she delivers that pitch, at least here in the warm-up tosses.
Yep, she looks like she's throwing strikes. Huntingdon just has to swing, put the bat on the ball, and take it for a ride.
Hey, as one of my favorite coaches ever, Pap Stratton, Jim Stratton, who's got a couple of boys who help out here coaching in the Huntingdon Little League, and grandchildren all around playing Teener League, Little League, instructional ball. As Pap Stratton used to tell us, there's no secret to hitting. See the ball, hit the ball. It's just that simple, folks, and we'll see who's going to get a look at the ball first here for Huntingdon.
Jaden White.
Hey, Jaden White, and she comes up the first pitch. She slaps one over toward the New Bethlehem dugout on the first base side. Oh, and 1 the count as we are underway in the bottom of the third inning with a New Bethlehem 12-0 run and runs here in this point. And Miller out there adjusting. She's got a brace on her left knee. She was adjusting that after that pitch, and now doing a little work on the ties on the glove. Everything seems to be in order. She's comfortable, and here comes the wind in the pitch, and just blows that one past Wyke for a swing and a miss, strike 2 on Wyke. It's Miller. He's very aggressive out there on the pitcher's mound, and I think she's got a little more speed than we saw from the first pitcher.
Yep, the first pitcher had a nice delivery, but with Miller here, you're getting the more of a pop of the glove.
I'll tell you, looks like some of those lines whenever you're watching the college softball World Series on TV. That always attracts my attention too. The College World Series in softball and the Little League World Series in baseball. Boy, I'm a sucker for both. Just can't turn that off when they come on TV. Here's the wind, and that is going to be a called strike. And that'll send Wyke back to the dugout to hang up the bat, and sending out to the batter's box now is the Huntingdon pitcher. This will be Maddie Berkey coming up to bat for Huntingdon. Left-handed batter. I like this. Before every pitch, Miller takes that ball and she takes it with the right hand and slaps it into the glove once or twice before each pitch. Just kind of like, it's coming. Are you ready? And she blows that one past Berkey for an 0-1 count. Adjusts the straps. Hasn't made that move yet, though, with the ball. Maybe she's not going to do it this time. Now she's going to step on the rubber and wind, and she's going to wind that one about halfway up the backstop. That one was, just a tad high. We could almost made a play on that if there was no screen on her.
Yeah, no screen. That would have been a nice shot up to us.
You catch the ball, and I'll take off running with a souvenir. They'll probably catch me about the first step down out of the squirrel's nest, which is what we call the booth here at Huntingdon, is the squirrel's nest. It's been called that for years and years. I remember as a little leaguer coming up here whenever Davey Linton took care of all these scoring details, and he was here game after game. You know that well, Poncho.
Yeah, I do. Great guy, Dave Linton. What a guy.
Yeah, there's memories from, I'm getting old, folks, and I can still remember back that far. So we're talking back into the 60s and early 70s, and Dave Linton, I always thought maybe they should have named the press box after him the years he put in, and just did a great job. But it's the squirrel's nest, and that's where I guess it's a good thing, because usually a bunch of nuts hang out in the squirrel's nest. Two of them here tonight on the airnetwork.net, Jeff Speck and Hunter Weld, and able to draw the walk on that at bat. So we've got, who do we have coming up now? Simpson?
June Simpson,
the second baseman. So Huntingdon with one out and a runner down on first base, and the pitch, a swing and a miss to Simpson. 0-1 the count. The Huntingdon runner showing no signs even stepping off the bag on that one. She's up now, gets the call from Sean Simpson, the managers over third base. That one gets past the catcher, gets back to the backstop, and throw down to second, but we're able to get in there safe with a slide. So here we go, runner in scoring position. Let's see if we can do something, get that goose egg off the scoreboard.
Yep, Huntingdon just needs to put some balls in play and hopefully bring her around.
And there's the pitch from Miller. That one's going to roll across and going to get back to the backstop, and going to be no play on that one. We now have a runner down at third base, ready to come across the plate. Let's see if we can get one in here. 2-1 the count with one out, a runner on third base. That's going to be a called second strike against Simpson. 2-2 the count, one out. 12-0 New Bethlehem lead as they leading over Huntingdon. There was that slap of the ball from the right hand into the glove, and now she steps up on the rubber and is ready to deliver. She does. Simpson grounds one down to first base, and that is going to score Huntingdon's first run of the night. So Maddie Berkey, able to score from third base on the hit down to the first baseman by Simpson, who was up to bat for Huntingdon, she's thrown out at first. There's 2 outs, but Huntingdon's got a run on the scoreboard, so it ain't going to be a shutout, at least that, Hunter.
Yep, Huntingdon broke the ice. Hopefully more runs to come. Now batting for Huntingdon, Cam Mortar.
Mortar steps in, and she's going to look at a ball 1 down low, skimming across the ground. Miller, the new pitcher, in relief here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, winds and fires one in, but it's way high, 2-0 the count, and Miller looks mad at herself. She can't believe she threw that ball like that. She likes to tug on that one tie there on the glove down around the wrist. It's funny watching some of these kids as they have almost their routine down.
Yep, a lot of kids they throw one pitch for a strike and they're like, hey, maybe if I do that again, I'll consistently throw strikes.
And probably of all the sports I played, that's probably the most. Baseball's probably one with the most superstitions, and I'm sure probably the same thing applies here in softball. And Mortar looks at a called second strike, 3-2 the count with 2 outs. Nobody on for Huntingdon at this point, and she's going to draw the walk off the full count. So Mortar hustles her way down to first base, and Miller kind of lets the ball roll away from her. Maybe I think that was maybe more of a ploy where she left the ball kind of roll out of her glove and out toward first base, maybe hoping that the runner would try to advance to second, then she'd have an easy pickoff, but that wasn't to be. The catcher, Paige Wilson, now into bat for Huntingdon, right-handed batter, as the sun glistens off her white helmet right here in front of us as we look down on home plate from the squirrel's nest, and ouch, Wilson takes one to the left knee, on the outside left knee, but she reaches down, gives a little rub, and hustles down to first base. That was a pretty well thrown ball, and the knee seemed to absorb it. That's going to tickle though a little bit, I'd think. Yep,
not going to feel the best. Now batting Ashley Beck.
The shortstop for Huntingdon steps in here, so we got runners on first and second as tying a shoe out there on the base pad. So that was the halt in the action, just caught that one. So it looks like everything is strapped back together, and Beck steps into the batter's box, and Nate Shope gives the signal that, go ahead, Miss Miller, it's all yours, and she winds and delivers. That one's going to bounce in front of home plate and gets away from the catcher, but the runners are going to stay put at first and second. 2 outs, 1 ball, no strikes here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Huntington getting one across, making it 12-1, and Miller delivers another one in the dirt before it gets in the neighborhood of the home plate. 2-0 now the count. Nice sunny evening, and that little breeze we had going at the start of the game. The flag is now just laying right along the flagpole here here in center field at the Huntingdon Little League field. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count, and another one goes into the dirt, and that'll advance the runners to second and third. So 2 runners in scoring position. If Beck can just deliver one, and the right fielder for New Bethlehem playing shallow and very much toward the line, and that's going to be a ball 4. So Ashley Beck finds herself with a walk, and Huntingdon now with bases loaded, and Miller just has a total look of disgust on her face out on the pitcher's mound, and the coach notices that also, and then I think it's time to go out and have a little talk and say, look, you're up 12-1, settle down, just do your job. But the coach saw the expression I saw immediately and decided time for a walk, time to go settle things down.
Yep, she got a little rattled here with the walk and then the hit batsman and then another walk.
And everyone walks away, and Elena Miller just kept her arms folded out there on the pitcher's mound, and like, okay, I know what needs done here. Just everyone go away, and let's see what we can do. And now stepping in for Huntingdon is the third baseman. That is Maddie Lemin. And Miller throws another one down here in the dirt. So she started off the early part of the inning and looked like she was in shape, doing well with deliveries of strikes, but things have seemed to fallen apart here a little bit. She's planting a lot of those balls before that reaches the plate, but not that one. That's a strike right down the heart of the plate. 1-1 the count on Lemin. Bases loaded for Huntingdon, their biggest threat of the evening, as they are down 12-1. And that pitch will be up high. 2 balls, 1 strike against Lemin. There's nowhere to put a walk at this point.
Yep. she's got to try and deliver strikes, or Huntingdon will get another run via the walk.
And as they say, a walk's as good as a hit. And right now, Lemin's out in front. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Huntingdon hoping to take advantage of this position they find themselves in with bases loaded. Need some 2-out lightning here. Maddie Lemin trying to deliver the punch, and that one's going to be inside. So Lemin will take her base down to first. All the runners will advance here, and that'll bring another run across the plate as Cam Mortar steps on home plate to deliver Huntingdon's second run issued on the base on ball. So Huntingdon bases loaded, now 12-2. This comes into play here because you're dealing with that the mercy rules here, just like you do in baseball.
Yep. I believe it's after 4 innings, it's a 10-run rule.
So Huntingdon can stave things off here and climb back into this ballgame if they can keep things going. And into bat right now for Huntingdon, this is Savannah Reed, who's in the batter's box for Huntingdon with bases loaded and 2 outs. She leads in the count 2-0. And Miller really with disgust that time. She takes that ball way up high with her right hand and throws it into the mitt. And now she's looking over at the dugout like, I don't know what's going on here, guys. I'm not hitting the mitt. And she is. She's kind of fighting herself at the moment when there's really no need to, and you're still up by 10 runs, and she's going to issue a second straight walk. She puts her right hand up in the air, does Miller, and says, "I'm done." So the manager from New Bethlehem, he hears the declaration that Miller is done, and she walks off the mound, hands her mask to the coach, and we're going to have a pitching change, but Huntingdon has their third run across now on another base on balls, and Miller is going to return back out to first base, and that's tough. I mean, she just lost the target. So Miller is moved over to first. So what looks to be so Rierick, who was the starting pitcher,
turning back in. Looks like Rierick is returning to pitch for New Bethlehem.
Okay, well, you don't see that a lot traditionally. Usually when you've been out there one time, why, that's end of the night. But Rierick is going to re-enter, and I feel a little bit for Elena Miller. She's down at first base, and she just looks totally ticked off. Yeah, ticked off. That's the word I was looking for. And she is not happy, and she's not happy with herself because she knows things fell apart, just didn't deliver. And I say, as soon as she delivered that pitch, I think before the ball's in the glove of the catcher, why she had her right hand in the air, and you could hear her up here said, "I'm done." And the manager didn't hesitate for a second.
Yep, she got started off to a great inning with a 3-pitch strikeout looking to White, but then
things fell apart from that point. Yeah,
3, 4, 5 base on balls and a hit batter.
Yeah, so that took care of that. So now we have Rierick is back in business as she moves back to the pitcher's mound, and she comes out, and her first pitch to Grissinger for Huntingdon is a called strike, 0-1. So coach has no hesitation, goes back to Rierick, and just let's finish this off and get out of here. 12-3 now the score. Huntingdon putting 3 across here in the bottom of the third inning. Grissinger, a swing and a miss, and the catcher is unable to haul it in. And she wisely picks up the ball and just steps on home plate and gets the third out on the force at home. So there's a heads-up play with a kid knowing what she needed to do if that ball got past her, because the runner can advance at that point, and she just wisely picks it up and nonchalantly steps on home plate, and that ends the inning. But Huntingdon showing they're not ready to roll over and play dead. 12-3 at the end of 3 on the airnetwork.net.
Thanking all of our sponsors and all the Little League moms and dads and all the folks who have helped out the entire season from day one. Thank you again for listening to the airnetwork.net. This game brought to you by Stonetown Gallery Cafe and Wine Bar, the place for all-day breakfast and a fabulous lunch. Artistic atmosphere in downtown Huntingdon at 511 Washington Street. You can also enjoy dinner and music Friday nights on the patio and courtyard. Stop in at their wine bar hosted by Happy Valley Winery and Vineyards. take a break, Mom and Dad. Check them out, Stonetown Gallery Cafe and Wine Bar, open Tuesday through Sundays, closed Mondays. Like them on Facebook. Also want to invite you to join Ike Taylor, formerly of the Steelers, for the Ike Taylor Show this fall, exclusively here on the airnetwork.net. Ike joins us along with Johnny Harris and NFL insiders, bringing you insight to players, games, information regarding the Steelers and the NFL. It'll happen every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock beginning in September, so get the whole story. It's the Ike Taylor Show right here on the airnetwork.net. And by the way, Jeff, we have some plans to bring on Mike Hootie to do maybe a segment on maybe Thursday nights along with Timmy Lawrence, an old friend of ours up at Juniata College. So we've got lots planned here on the Air Network.
Hey, this is the place when you want local sports, when you want Huntingdon sports. Why, the airnetwork.net is going to be your home address. So if you know about it, make sure you spread that word. Steve doing a great job in putting some great programming together, and people who have been looking for local sports presence for many years now in Huntingdon. The radio stations have always been kind of all over the place and not really committing to any one school or anything, which is understandable, but Steve Austin and the airnetwork.net, that is going to be your it's home base for hometown sports, and we've got that going on right now as we start playing the top of the fourth inning. Huntingdon and New Bethlehem. New Bethlehem up 12-3, and they are at bat. Bailey stepping in here to the plate for New Bethlehem to start. There's some changes out on the field defensively for Huntingdon. That's going to be a pop-up to shortstop, and Beck has it in her glove, but it pops out, so that'll put the runner out at first as we start out here in the top of the fourth inning. Have you got all those changes there? Can you bring us up to date on who's out there for Huntingdon at the moment?
Yeah, going into center is Izzy Reynolds, batting sixth. Into left field is Kendall Carlin. Right field is Audrey Wilson, and Jaden Wyke is moving to third base.
Okay, so I think that was that who was up there for New Bethlehem? I think that was Hetrick was the batter, and she slaps one down to shortstop, and shortstop was in great position to make the play. Ashley Beck, but as it came off the lip of the grass into the dirt, just takes a weird bounce and is able to advance the runner over to third and gets Hetrick out to second base. And the runner was advancing from first down to second, and Wilson decides to throw that ball down to second, and that'll bring Bailey across the plate for New Bethlehem. So now they are back up by 10, 13-3, and moves the runner from first, goes down to second, then on the throw home. She moves over to third. So the decision to throw the ball down to second with a runner on third, that ends up paying off for New Bethlehem as they go back up 13-3 now. As Maddie Berkey continues to work out on the mound, that is a ball into, I'm not sure I think Bish is the name I see on the back of the jerseys, but can't tell if
Rayleigh Bish.
Rayleigh Bish is the batter for New Bethlehem, a new entry into the game, and she will put one on the ground down to second base, and that is fielded by June Simpson over to Cam Mortar, and that brings up a first out, but that'll put another run across the plate for New Bethlehem, now up 14-3. So Huntingdon, when they get back into bat, already know that they've got work to do because New Bethlehem has exceeded that 10-run mercy rule, and if Huntingdon would be unable to catch up and get it down to at least 9 runs, why that would be the end of the game and the end of the journey for Huntingdon. So right now Huntingdon just needs to record outs, and this is Beamer, I believe, who's back up here for New Bethlehem.
Yes, Reagan Beamer.
Reagan Beamer, she shows bunt, pulls the ball back, and nice. She had the pitcher was moving toward home plate and was able to put that ball out past the pitcher, but the second baseman June Simpson fields it and on to Cam Mortar to retire the batter. So now 2 outs here in the top of the fourth inning. So Huntingdon right now they need to get this third out and get in and see if they can keep things alive. And now in batting, we're back up to the top of the lineup once again, right?
Yep, Vanna Boyer.
This will be her fourth at bat, and she's had a couple of flies out pop-ups, I think. All 3 times she's all 3 times she's flied out in this ball game. So maybe she can deliver one more for us here in the top of the 4th inning. One more. That's all we need, Savannah. Well, she does put it in the air, but it comes back to the backstop. You should have been reaching out for that and protecting the old man. It stayed away. The screen caught it. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. 14-3 the score. New Bethlehem leads here in the top of the 4th inning. Maddie Berkey going the distance here so far on the mound for Huntingdon. She looks in. Here's the wind and the delivery. And that one is high. 2 balls, 1 strike. So if we can send some karma down to Boyer, just one more pop-up here to get us out of the inning and get us back into the bats. Here's the wind and the pitch. Boyer's going to put one in the air, but this time she's going to line it over the shortstop's head, and that's going to end up out in left field. And then the ball into the infield gets away from the shortstop, and the runner advances. Boyer is down to second base. So instead of helping us out with the pop-out, she finds herself in scoring position. And up to bat now,
Elena Miller.
Elena Miller had a little stint there on the pitcher's mound, but ended up issuing 4 or 5 wide. Ended up with five walks there in the top of the 3rd inning, a hit batsman, and she lines one out past the shortstop, and she's going to advance down to second, and she will be in safe. So you get the runner who scores to make it now 15-3, and Miller. She's got to feel good after that. After her outing on the mound, she was looking mad and kind of down. I mean, but now we have Rurik, who was the starting pitcher and is now on in relief, and she enters the batter's box 3 for 3 on the evening. This is our triple girl. Don't want to take her to Wendy's. That'd be a big bill if she kept ordering triples. They make the triples anyway. That used to be my go-to sandwich. 2 triples and a biggie fry. I have to go and check that out. I could handle it at one time in my life. Of course, maybe that's why I have the stout condition I have now. Rurik hits it down to the shortstop. Beck unable to make the play, and that's going to bring the runner around from second, and going to score easily is Elena Miller, who comes across and gives New Bethlehem their 16th run of the evening. 16-3 the score now here in the top of the 4th inning. Huntingdon just needs a 3rd out, and it'll be do or die time when they come back into the plate here in the bottom of the 4th inning. They want to stop the damage here now. Trista Bowser into bat. How's she doing this evening?
Trista Bowser is 2 for 3.
All right, 2 for 3, and she's going to slap one back to the pitcher. Berkey fields it, and over to Cam Mortar for the 3rd out in the inning. So Huntingdon finds themselves in a heap of trouble here as they come to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 16-3, and we're on the airnetwork.net.
And you're listening to Huntingdon Little League All-Stars 11-12 softball action live from downtown Huntingdon with Jeff Speck and Hunter Weld. Game is brought to you by Sam's Garage at 214 Washington Street, Huntingdon. It's been owned and operated for 37 years, recently purchased by Todd Wilson back in 2014, so it's still locally owned and operated. Stop by Sam's Garage for state inspections, major or minor vehicle repairs, and all brands of tires and accessories. Sam's Garage open Monday to Friday from 9 to 5 with appointments on Saturdays and Sundays. Give them a call at Sam's Garage at 643-0616. Game also brought to you by Prayer Mountain Monuments on 4th Street, Huntingdon, specializing in laser etching of memorial headstones. Their pre-planning consultations are free of charge, and you can select from a variety of monument styles. Prayer Mountain Monuments open Monday to Thursdays 9 to 4, Fridays from 9 to 3, evenings and weekends by appointment. Call them at 669-1316 for more information on a lasting memorial. This game, by the way, you can hear a rebroadcast tonight at 10 o'clock on TuneIn and, of course, on the airnetwork.net website. Of course, we'll have the game up on our front page so you can listen on demand starting tomorrow morning. Now, back to Hunter Weld and Jeff Speck, guys.
All right, Steve, that makes it twice as nice. You not only get to hear us once, but you can hear us twice. Again, tonight at 10 o'clock, hear the replay. Do you get a chance to listen, Hunter? How do we sound?
I haven't listened to us yet.
Whoa,
Come on, man.
Now, you never admit that on the air.
I tried to get us on YouTube, but
I'm taking the mic away from him.
Give that kid our website, man. He can get it on YouTube. He can get it everywhere.
I'm going over and hook him up with some new electronic gear, so he has no excuses.
He sounds like some of us old guys.
Yeah. Hey, if I can be technically savvy enough to pull things up, why one of these young bucks ought to be able to do it with no problem. Because I still sit there in amazement why my old VCR still bounces at 0-0-0. But, oh, well, White steps in to lead off for Huntingdon here in the bottom of the fourth inning. She puts a one on the ground right out to the first baseman, Elena Miller, and she steps on the bag. So one down, and we're do or die time for Huntingdon.
Yep. Luckily for Huntingdon, they're at the top of their order. Hopefully they can get some runs.
I'm taking a kid's man card.
Yeah, there you go. We have Maddie Berkey steps in, left-handed batter for Huntingdon, and she'll watch that first one go high. She had to tilt her head back to see that one go by a little bit on the high side, and Rurick, that one puts it over top of her head by about 2 feet. So 2-0 now the count on Berkey as she steps in here to bat for Huntingdon, trying to get something going. Huntingdon needs 4 to keep this game going. There's a called strike, 2-1 the count with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth inning, and yeah, it doesn't look at this point like we're going to go the distance unless Huntingdon can turn it on. And Berkey flies out to the right fielder, who's right on the spot. Johnny on the spot. It's almost like it was just hit to her in batting practice. Sticks the glove up, hauls it in, and just that quick 2 out. So Huntingdon down to its last out here in this sectional tournament.
Yep. Huntingdon will have June Simpson up.
And second baseman June Simpson steps in, digs in on the right-hand side of the plate, and Simpson looking like, hey, I wasn't ready. Well, she was in the batter's box, and Rurick reared back and delivered a called strike, and the second pitch is a ball low, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth inning. Huntingdon down to its last out here. That is a strike 2, and the coach is a little bit excited there because I got away from the catcher, and they yelled for Simpson to go, and she turned around and told him that wasn't strike 3. Simpson will line right back to Rurick, the pitcher, and that's where it'll end. The third out comes just that quick here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and the final score ends up 16-3. And Hunter, that's where it ends for Huntingdon at this point in the Little League Softball, their first venture into the world of Little League Softball.
Yep. Huntingdon can't be too sad because they're at a little bit of a disadvantage being their first year and inexperienced, and I'm sure New Bethlehem's been in it for a while, and Huntingdon will just have to give it another shot next year.
Well, this first Huntingdon crew, they're kind of like the adventurers. They're taking that first venture into uncharted territory for Huntingdon. So now Huntingdon, the league has had a taste of what it's all about in softball, and you find out that there's a long way to go. But in the first year, why Huntingdon stands up proudly, and they put a team out on the field, which some leagues can't even do that in the Little League Softball ranks. So hats off to Huntingdon for having the girls to step up, and the coaches also step up to take things over. Sean Simpson, the manager, Jimmy Berkey, and Travis Krotzer are the assistants for Huntingdon. So they end out, yeah, that's true, a combined no-hitter, but Huntingdon did most of their damage in the third inning there when Miller went walk happy for New Bethlehem.
Yep, that was the only bit of damage Huntingdon was able to make.
That's where it ends, and our first venture into doing Little League Girls Softball in a broadcast fashion. Along with Hunter Weld, this is Jeff Speck. Final score once again, 16-3. And Steve, it's been a pleasure, and look forward to helping out along the way where I can, and maybe chirping in there on the Monday night sports talk whenever that gets fired up here again in the fall. Lots of big things coming up here on the airnetwork.net though, and we'll make sure that Hunter gets hooked in so he can listen to us.
Oh yeah, we got to get him online definitely. Hey, I want to mention thank you. This is actually Hunter's first foray into radio or the internet. And Jeff, Thank you for your tutelage because you've given him some direction. And Hunter, I hope it was a great experience for you. I hope he looks forward to moving on in his career because you guys did a great job. Yeah,
I'll pass along to Hunter. Steve saying a great job. And how did you like your first foray into this this broadcast, swing and swirling world of show business, as I like to call it, but into the broadcast of business.
Mm-hmm. It was fun. This is what I love doing. Love watching baseball, and would have liked to see one of the Huntingdon teams win a district championship, but guess we'll have to wait for next year.
Not to be this year, and I'll tell you, one of those things I used to do when there were these things called cassette recorders.
Oh, yeah.
I used to take them to all kinds of ball games. Of course, now you've got all that digital stuff. What's a cassette?
On your phone
but
now.
anyhow, I used to take those along, and I would do the calls at games and then take them home and listen to them and sit there and critique myself. But Hunter becoming a senior this year at Huntingdon High School, ready to get that venture underway.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, the senior year, it'll go by quick, and then they throw you out into the real world, and maybe you'll follow in the footsteps of the greats like Steve Austin and Jeff Speck and find yourself living a life of poverty and broadcasting.
How about that? Yeah, and the reality is, Jeff, tell them. Go ahead.
Yeah, that'd be nice, minus the poverty.
Yeah, well. Maybe you want to move on from this area then, and maybe strike out the bigger markets. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't lead this kid down the that path, man, because it's sort of like being in the Catholic Church, man. We're swearing like poverty the rest of your life, dude. Yeah. Although I might say that we all got in the business for what reason, Jeff? When we were young. The chicks.
We love it. Oh yeah, well it doesn't matter what level of show business you're in, as I call it. You become a chick magnet, Hunter. Look at me.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you hit 40 and it's all over.
Yeah, well, I was all over for me about 28, so I didn't even make it to 40. Well, it has been a pleasure and a real joy, and thank you so much for listening. And once again to all the sponsors. And Steve, great things you're doing here with the AirNetwork.net.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hope to work with you along the way here as we build something great here for the hometown audience.
Well, we'll definitely be working together, I'm sure. As you mentioned, Monday Night Sports Talk, you're always welcome to do that. And we have some other things for you and Hunter, so keep in mind and just keep it here. Thanks again to Jeff Speck and Hunter Weld for tonight's game. Tonight's Huntingdon Little League All-Star Game has been presented by Rick Singleton Reynolds, William Penn Highway, Huntingdon, and by the Ike Taylor Show, coming this fall to the AirNetwork.net. The game also brought to you by Sam's Garage in Huntingdon, Prayer Mountain Monuments, Stonetown Gallery Cafe and Wine Bar, Cloudminders, and the Huntingdon County Drop-In Center. Again, thank you to Jeff Speck, Hunter Weld for all the games that we've had. Actually, about 5 games. And to the Huntingdon Little League for just being a gracious host, and especially all the parents involved in it, because we know that it takes a lot of time. But you know what? That's why we're parents, because they grow up and hopefully they reward us richly with, just maybe grandchildren or whatever they do. All right, kids, let's move on. Have a great season. We'll see you probably in a couple of weeks with Huntingdon Teener League here on the AirNetwork.net. Stick around.